Hi everyone, I'm Jess Roberson, and welcome to the second season of the WHVP podcast. In this season, the WHVP team sits down and discusses current event and issues that affect the wealth management world. In this week's podcast, we'll be talking about the Fed's decision to raise the interest rate in 2023. Let's get into it. How's you guys' weekend? Good?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, but too hot.
Too hot, definitely too hot. It's impossible to sleep at night, but yeah.
What do you guys do to overcome the heat in the evenings?
We went swimming in the lake.
Yeah.
First time this year.
Yeah.
And did
Lake of Zurich. It was super nice.
Okay.
Saturday.
What's the temperature?
Yeah, I would say somewhere
I
around
don't know.
23
Okay,
degrees
that's
Celsius.
nice.
Yeah, but it was okay.
Not too cold, not too hot.
No, not at all.
I wish it was colder. I thought all spring, I thought really it was going to be really, really cold. The lake would be really cold for the next, 3 weeks, but it sounds like it's not.
Why? Because of rain or?
Yeah, just because it had been cold for all of spring. I mean, we hadn't really had significant sun or wet or
Yeah, but
warm.
the past week was so hot.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't change that fast.
True that.
I don't know. Did you watch the soccer match?
I did not.
You did not?
I did not.
That's weak.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's weak.
You have to channel your inner Swiss person.
Yeah, I was with Swiss people who just didn't care about the soccer game. All the people I was with, they had no interest in watching it, so we didn't watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was at a birthday party on the weekend, and other than that, I was doing school. So, yeah, that was my efforts this weekend. But what was the result?
3-1 for Switzerland.
Yeah.
But
How
it
did you
was-
not even know what the end result was?
Because I was doing school. I was writing a paper on The Times Are Changing by Bob Dylan and doing a presentation, so my focus was there. And then I wasn't on my phone at all when I was at the birthday party. It was just hanging out with people. So
So what did you write about Bob Dylan?
the relevance and the impact that it has, like this song that Bob Dylan wrote in 1964, is about. So it was written during the Civil Rights Movement, challenging the generational thoughts of what the system had held of racism and not allowing black people to vote. So it was written as a kind of a protest song to challenge the government standing against progress of racial equality. And so I wrote about how the impacts of the song have continued to support and be taken up by each new generation's social justice campaigns, because in reality it has. I mean, Bernie Sanders used the song in his presidential campaign and all of his presidential campaign speeches and events. He would have the song sung or played on his advertisement. So it's an incredibly impactful song in the United States pop culture and changing our views on youth.
Okay.
And what's the song? Did you already mention it?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
the
name
name of the
of the
song.
song is called "The Times Are Changing."
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very in-depth look into something that is cool, but
So it would have been a suitable song for the announcement of the results of the FOMC meeting.
correct.
I like your segue.
The impact it could have, it would have definitely highlighted the issue of certain commodities price changing very quickly.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. And what did you guys read about that on the weekend? That happened on Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday was the reaction,
Yeah.
but Wednesday was the announcement.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're not happy with it, right?
Sorry?
We're not happy with the reaction or the announcement.
Yeah, I mean, not happy. It was surprising that they were that progressive, considering the situation we are in, and I guess they knew what the reaction potentially is, and they were okay with that, because in the mid to long term they have to do anything, because they were really at the wall and haven't have a lot of wiggle room anymore, so they had to make a step, at least an announcement. I mean, they haven't changed anything yet, and it doesn't look like they are going to this year. So just mentioning that there will be a change, I think, was important, and the reaction was too strong for what it is, actually.
Yeah. So just so that the listeners know what we're talking about the announcement of the Fed releasing that in 2023 they're going to raise the interest rate. And so I also think I'm curious to know if they announced it knowing that it would, as you mentioned, it was going to cause a reaction in the markets to try to soften the blow.
Yeah.
With the current M2 printing, and they're trying to recollect all the money as far as there's so much cash in the markets, where they trying to kind of set the stage for the markets already of saying, hey, let's freak out now a little bit, let's deal with this issue, but this is going to come, so prepare yourselves. Do you think that the markets reacted in that way, or was it an overreaction?
I mean, I think that the Fed probably expected a reaction like that. I do think it was somewhat of an overreaction, but it also is, I would say, to be expected if we're considering at the high levels that we are, the uncertainty that there is in the market, that a lot of people have been worried for quite a while, and I think everything is a bit shaky, and it doesn't need a lot for it to really shake. So I don't think it's too surprising that the market reacted strongly, but I do believe that, the Fed didn't or doesn't really have a lot of choice. I mean, they will have to raise interest rates eventually. Yeah. It's just a matter of time, and I think that shouldn't be too surprising to any of the investors. Yes, I mean, that it was announced on Wednesday. It came a bit earlier than most people would have expected, but in my personal opinion, I think it is the smart and sustainable thing to do, because what we saw in the past, over the past couple of years, Switzerland has never really raised interest rates, and then they had very little wiggle room, as was mentioned before. Now during the last crisis that we saw to lower the interest rates any further, because we are already at a negative territory. There's almost no space left to go further down. So I think that the Fed is not doing, or is doing the job that they're supposed to do by going up and then have the potential of going down again at a later point in time.
Trying to create the option for them to later be able to lower it again if that need be.
Yeah, exactly.
Future circumstances, yeah. I mean, going into a negative interest rate is really difficult to do for a country, and Switzerland has done it well, but it's a daunting task, and I don't think the United States could fare very well if we had to go into negative interest rates. I think it would really cause some severe problems. Yeah. So, Julia, what do you think?
Yeah, well, I read a few articles, and even 3 days before there was an article that they expect the interest rate to be rising in 2024, so it was really a surprise for everybody. And well, I think they had to do something, because when I talk to clients, they always say that they don't believe in what they are doing, and all the prices are going higher and higher. Even the milk price is unbelievable high, and then house prices are going up. So I think they also need to regain the faith of the people back. So they had to do something. However, I don't know if they will do it in 2023, but they had to announce something. That's what I think. Because a lot can happen until 2023.
So you see it as kind of like they tried to not price check, but check the markets to try to slow them down from the expense as far as the consumer price index. We see that going up and prices continuing to go up, and so it's kind of like their reaction to like, hey, let's try to keep things from getting out of control, because one of the dangers of inflation is people raise the price of everything because they know there's more money out there, so they want to get more money, but then the money loses the value. So I think that's a really interesting point, and it's valuable. I hadn't really thought about it in that standpoint of them just trying to check the overall growth of certain industries. It's interesting. Any other thoughts on that topic?
No, well, I think the time period is very important too, so that they say, look, until in 2022 we're going to raise the interest rates, but I mean for everyone it's clear that if anything happens during this 1.5 year, they will turn around again, and then nothing will happen.
Yeah.
And so this is the thing I mentioned with the wiggle room, so that they mention what they are planning to do, so to show the people, so we are aware of what is happening, because the last meeting, the outcome was kind of, no, we do not worry about inflation, and this made people believe that they thought, okay, they just blind, they don't see it. And this is what Julia said with the faith, that the people really have to see that the Fed is acting in their best interest and is reacting if things starting to go out of control.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that's always a struggle with. I don't know how federal banks or national banks work in Europe totally, but as far as in the States, if that new chairman being appointed every 4 years is sadly some sort of politics in play when they're deciding on these things, and wanting to get that nomination. Obviously, the current chair was nominated by President Trump and wants to get nominated by a new president, obviously, in Joe Biden. So, how much what shocked me about the announcement was that they didn't give any information on, okay, this is where we think we're going to raise it. They just simply said, hey, we're going to raise it. And so I think is exactly that point to tell the people, hey, we are reacting. We do see that there's problems, but not at the same time not making a reaction that would upset the current administration that would want to get rid of the Fed head, because they want to keep expanding the quantitative easing because that has shown historical evidence of boosting the economy. It's part of how we got out of, or how the Obama administration tried to get out of the 2008 financial crisis. It's how Trump got out. Continued to, up the marks in the States, and so it's been this track record of working well. And I think they want to keep using the same policies, and so it'll be interesting to see if they keep doing that. Thanks for joining our discussion about the Fed raising the interest rates in 2023. If you would like to get to know more about us at WHVP, check us out at our website at WHVP.ch. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you guys next week.